My girlfriend won't let me play this game in the room at night, and the reason is that it looks too strange. For example, the girlfriend I just mentioned is actually an illusion I had after playing the game. Once Human is a game with a grotesque style. First of all, there are the monsters I just mentioned, like the ones with boxes on their heads, searchlights on their heads, and one that's skinny but has a jellyfish on its head. At this moment, I even thought of that philosophical question from ancient times about choosing a mermaid on a deserted island. Of course, there are also those who don't take off their masks when eating. These are just the most basic strange creatures. Look at this screen. Now, everyone, guess in the bullet comments how many hands this nurse has. Surprise! This female monster has 8 hands. It is said that God created the world in 7 days. While humans multiply and thrive, desires are innate. There is an organization called Rosetta, which used to be the most powerful company in history. Their experiments on deviations eventually opened the door to another world. Stardust invaded the world and infected humans. Some humans turned into monsters, and some became monsters with 1,000 logs on their bodies running around nimbly. When we enter the game, our protagonist wakes up from the monolith experiment of the Rosetta organization and immediately touches a somewhat familiar backpack. When touching the backpack, there is a switch between the inner and outer worlds. This should be because the Rosetta experiment made the world unstable. Here, we meet a strange bird that talks to the protagonist. It says that the protagonist is a Beyonder who has been successfully evolved by the Stardust infection. Then it takes us to Once Human, and the game officially starts. The basic gameplay of the game is survival and construction. We gradually unlock technologies, firearms, rocket launchers, automatic irrigation, and solar power generation. The construction in this game is also very interesting. We can build our homes anywhere in this vast open world with a very high degree of freedom. We can build it by the river and use it as a bridge. Even more interestingly, we can move our entire home. Every 10 minutes, we can move it to the area we want without any damage. This isn't a home. It's a multifunctional bridge crossing machine. Following the main storyline, after reaching Deadsville, we get a small motorcycle. Since the world has become like this, it's normal for it to teleport when we get on. Be careful when riding the motorcycle, because the fences in the locals' houses are made of iron. I was knocked flying, but the fence still stood firm. We can upgrade the motorcycle to a car through skill points, and later we can upgrade it to a motorhome. At the camp, we can also receive a side quest, Deviations Collection. Players can contain the deviations to get their help, but these deviations are really diverse. For example, there's the Digby boy that can help players mine, the Michelin-starred chef Chefosaurus Rex, and the senior little maid Paper Doll. After completing tasks, defeating bosses, and containing these deviations, we can let them out at home to defend our home. But what can they defend? Although these deviations don't seem very reliable, our protagonist has been successfully evolved. I originally thought that the deviations were strange enough, but actually, the weapons in the game aren't normal either. What can these weapons hit? But during my subsequent exploration, I found that it's not just these small things that are strange. The monsters in the universe are also very strange. What is this thing? Where did this bus come from in the middle of the night? Let's go up and meet it. The passengers on the bus are very unhappy with our highway robbery behavior and get off the bus one after another to beat us. The carriage is invincible, and its weakness is its long legs. All the monsters in this game have weaknesses. After getting on the bus, there's actually a big treasure chest. Then the bus drives away. So the design of this wanderer is that after getting beaten up, you can take a ride. Then we continue to explore. At the bottom of a cliff, I actually found a stranger's camp. There are actually other people here. Then in a ruin, I met another guy. The guy was very enthusiastic and told me how he danced. I was very touched and decided to escort him for a while. Then we met a guy with a gun. The guy was also very friendly and threw a bag of garbage on the ground. I picked it up, and it was a high-level mining drill. The people in this game are really nice. The main storyline requires us to defeat a monster called Trents. I originally thought it was a simple thing. Just move around and fight and it would be over. But I found that this boss is very strong. When I was fighting the Wanderer before, I found that monsters have weaknesses. But after my long research, I found that each monster has more than one weakness. For example, attacking a small monster's legs will make it fall to the ground directly, and short monsters like small spiders can even be stepped on to death. Although other things are not right, this is quite reasonable. After our continuous efforts, I saved up materials to upgrade my weapons and equipment to level 2. I met the Trents that killed me in one hit just now again. When facing this kind of boss, we must not be hasty. We should first understand its attack methods. It pounds the floor. Fortunately, my equipment is good enough to take a hit. I jump. Its front foot lands. It's about to fire a laser. Run quickly. What's blocking me? My butt got burned by the laser twice. The opponent's turn is over. The person on top of Trance is glowing. I guess this is its weakness. Now it's my turn to show off. Overall, the quality of the game is quite good. Although there are still some flaws for now, the effects like the visual performance are still acceptable.